Hey YouTube, what's going on today, guys? Alright, listen guys, we have a new episode up for you. Scruffy looking nerf herders. My name is Wyatt. Joining me today, as always, are two of my best friends.
Oh, you mean we're friends? Wow.
I think we're friends.
What an honor. I'm apparently his friend Brenner.
I'm apparently his best friend Blake.
We're the scruffy looking nerf herders, guys. As you guys can tell, we're all kind of, Brenner's kind of clean right now, but me and Blake are super scruffy. So we're definitely scruffy looking nerf herders.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to talk about this today, guys. I'm sure you guys are ready to talk about this. It's officially the first video that we're going to discuss, and I don't think there's anything more we should talk about other than the new Lucasfilm games and their new announcements that they made. Their Star Wars open world game, baby. I'm ready.
Don't forget about Ubisoft, my guy. And Ubisoft.
Yeah, we got Lucasfilm Games. We got Ubisoft working together with Lucasfilm Games. They're working together with their studio, their Swedish studio, Massive Entertainment. They're working on a massive open world Star Wars game. And just the prospect of that, even before we get into what it could be, just gives me goosebumps.
Same.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
And
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I've been a massive fan of Ubisoft for years now. You know, Assassin's Creed, favorite game series. So, seeing that they have the helm of a new Star Wars IP,
The only thing I'm concerned about with that, Ubisoft does make good games. However, their games are very much a copy pasta. Assassin's Creed, the last three, while they're different from the main series, they are very, very, very similar. They just have a different skin. And I have a feeling Star Wars is going to follow suit. It's going to be similar to like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Origins. And while they're good games, I'm a little concerned if that's the way they're going to go. I would love to see them do something like they did with South Park, and just something completely out of left field that's not their normal kind of game, if that makes sense.
Let me hit you with this. Just think. I understand what you're saying about Assassin's Creed. I'm not against it at all. I totally agree with you. I love Assassin's Creed. It's my favorite game series of all time. But Star Wars Assassin's Creed. That's all you need to sell me on this game. That's all you need.
I'm intrigued by that thought and by that idea. However, the amount of just general exhaustion from the Assassin's Creed series. I mean, they've sat there and just wringed every drop of water they can out of that. And while Valhalla is an amazing game and I've loved playing it so far, Far Cry is the same way. It is very much the same game.
Yeah.
Every year, every time, new skin, different story, but the same kind of map, same kind of side missions. It's just they don't stray too far from what they know, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like if you like Far Cry 4, you're probably gonna like Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
If you like Origins, you're probably gonna like Odyssey or Valhalla.
Yeah.
If you like the original Assassin's Creed games, you may not like the new ones, because they are not Assassin's Creed games in my opinion.
They're not my favorites. I love Valhalla, but they're not my favorites.
They're not your favorites because they're not Assassin's Creed, and they should have just made a new IP, honestly. They just threw the Assassin's Creed IP on there.
See, I don't agree. Like, they are Assassin's Creed games.
And I agree.
You're looking
I agree
past
with
the
point.
story. You're looking past the story. Like, it's still an Assassin's Creed story. Like, they just went a different route
story
with an RPG.
An Assassin's Creed title. They just completely changed everything that made it an Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed from a gameplay standpoint. It is not solely focused on assassinations at this point, and that's not a bad thing. These games are amazing.
Yeah.
I get that, but you'd have the same argument. Say they kept going with that original formula, you'd be complaining about that right now. You know, it'd be like exactly like
it's everybody complaining about that.
So
there's a reason they changed it, because Unity and Syndicate did so poorly. because it's
That's
the
true.
same game.
Hey, I
Every
disagree.
year, on the year.
Syndicate did poorly because people. It was the same thing with Star Wars, where Solo only did poorly in theaters because people were burned out from Star Wars, especially since it came out after Episode 8. Syndicate did poorly because there was an Assassin's Creed game pretty much every single year, and the one that came out right before that was Unity. Syndicate is in my top 3. Syndicate is such a good game, and it gets hated on so much because it is focused on the Assassin's Creed stuff. I get what you're saying about the newest 3. My biggest gripe about them is the fact that they focused on they went away, like the Assassin Order is still around, but it's not like at the height of what it was. And I love the games when the Assassin Order, when the Creed was at the height. And I get we're like seeing the origins of the Assassins, and we're seeing the earliest iterations of the Assassins, but I like them for what they are because I'm an Assassin's Creed fan. I enjoy them because they are still Assassin's Creed. It's not the Assassin's Creed I grew up with and want to see on a yearly or bi-yearly basis, which is why they're not my favorites. But I enjoy them because of how new they are and what they now bring to the table. And I think we're going to eventually get back to what it was.
I think I get defensive with them because you guys or Brenner, you're on the gameplay level, and I get that. I respect that 100%. But me, I go into that story level, man, and that's I fisheye right there, and that's all I care about. Gameplay be damned. I'll play those games till I dry up into it. You know, if I'm like 80 and they're still making Assassin's Creed, I'm gonna play it. You know,
I agree.
I agree with you, 100%. You're not. I'm by no means trying to trash on Assassin's Creed. I'm not saying
I know.
these new ones are old ones suck.
I got you.
I've only beat 2. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It's not that I don't love the games. It's I played 2. 2 was fun. Brotherhood, essentially the same game with a different story, obviously, but it's, in my opinion, it is 2 with a new story. That's it. They don't change a whole lot, and that's Ubisoft. That's Ubisoft's head being in the place of, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
And that, while that's great, and I agree with that, that's good, but they just went in a really weird way with Assassin's Creed. They could have just broke it up.
You know what they did?
A yearly game from 1 all the way to Origins? Odyssey.
You know what they did?
What?
They said, I bet you in their meetings, they were like, okay, they hear what fans like you were saying, Brenner, where they're like, it's copy and paste. It's the same thing every game. They're loved. Unity took a hit, and because of that, the great story and what we did with Syndicate took a big hit in sales. People didn't buy it because of the hate on Unity. So what we do, let's change it. Let's go to ancient Egypt. Let's do something that is visually stunning, and let's try something different. The die-hard fans are still going to get it. They're still going to play it. They're still going to love it. And we did. They said the same thing with Odyssey. They're like, they've been wanting ancient Greece for so long. Let's just give it to them. They want it. Let's just do it. We can integrate the Assassin's Creed story in there because it is an easy story to integrate into any period in history if you do it correctly. And then they did the same thing with Valhalla. And because of God of War and its success, Ubisoft was like, people are on a Viking binge right now. Let's give them what they want. Diehards are going to play it. They're going to enjoy it. I haven't beat it yet. I've been focused on trying to get my stream schedule set up and get on a legitimate schedule after overnights at my job. But it's definitely something that diehard fans will love. And like I said, it's kind of like Star Wars. Star Wars sweaties and Star Wars normies. There's Assassin's Creed sweaties, which are definitely me and Blake. And there's Assassin's Creed normies who play the game because they're cool, but it's more of a gameplay basis, and that's Brenner.
I mean, honestly, I played 2 to completion. I started 1, and I played like 30 minutes. Black Flag is super fun. I love that. Like, I love the new games, and I think they're great games. I don't want to sit here and say like, oh, they suck. Like, they changed it. And Assassin's Creed needed to change. I just think that completely changing genres and completely changing the way the game plays was not the route to do it. Black Flag incorporated pirates. Like, that was a cool way to keep Assassin's Creed, but breathe some new air into it. And that's why
exactly.
Black Flag is amazing. I just think it's really weird. Like if Pokemon were magically the main series game, we're going from like turn-based to an action RPG, I would be baffled. I don't know what I would do because that's not Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
See, you say Assassin's Creed Black Flag is a good one, but that's an action RPG.
It is, however, it is not a full RPG. It does not have RPG elements.
It is one step. They took that extra step into RPG, a full-fledged RPG.
They took a full leap into an RPG. And I don't think it was necessarily the wrong move. I think that it definitely did a lot of good for the series.
Yeah.
However, when I've been working at GameStop, I hear a lot of people complain.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I don't want Valhalla because it's not Assassin's Creed. They changed it too much, and I get that. But they're still good games. I just think they should have made the games.
Yeah. And I'll
under
tell you
a different
right now,
IP.
I'll tell you right now. From what little I've played of Valhalla, they took a gigantic step backwards to focus on the lore of what the assassins are. Because I think the reason why Origin is my least favorite one, I don't like Origins as much as I like Unity better because it was that classic Assassin's Creed style. The story of Unity sucked, but but the gameplay along with a semi-decent story was enough for me to go, okay, yeah, I think I like this better than Origins.
That's my point.
The RPGs,
that's exactly my point.
That's what I'm saying. But Valhalla took a step back. Like Origin and Odyssey were very much RPG style. Odyssey was taking a step backwards out of that RPG style because the fighting style of Odyssey seemed more like they were going back to normal. Like it was a step back. Like the whole like thing that reminded me of an RPG style with Origins was you're a guy, you're an Egyptian assassin, you're Bayek running around and you have an axe that's 4 feet bigger than you. That just reminds me of like World at Warcraft crap.
I mean,
and I love World at Warcraft.
Egyptians did build the pyramids, to be fair.
No, no.
They needed to be some crazy strong people.
But what I'm saying is, it just seemed like RPG cartoony like action, and it's like you're getting like you're seeing the damage pop up above their name and stuff like that, and it's like I get it, I enjoyed it, the story was cool, but it's not my I honestly, Origins is the only one I didn't beat.
And that's
because I got bored with it. Odyssey, I beat completely. I did all the side missions. I got Odyssey completely finished and completely beat because they started to take a step back. Also because I graduated with a history degree and my history degree was focused on ancient Greek and ancient Roman history. So I love that. I love that. But Valhalla, from what I've played, it's basically, it feels like OG Assassin's Creed.
And you're not.
I have about 100 hours in Valhalla.
You're almost done then, because Ian just got about 100 hours and finished it.
No, all I'm doing is exploring the world. I've barely touched the main quest. I've gotten maybe 20 or 30 hours in the main quest, but I've just been exploring the world.
Then you got about another 40 hours.
Yeah, it's gorgeous just looking at, and they definitely have taken a step back. There is a couple of complaints that I have heard, and I agree with. There isn't a lot of verticality. You're the whole climbing, free running, and all that stuff. You don't need to. There's barely anywhere to do that.
Yeah.
You get the castle walls and maybe some villages and everything, but you run out real fast.
Yep. That's what I miss about the big cities. That you have.
Oh yeah. I will.
Which is why Unity was so fun to me. There was so much you could do in Unity. The parkour aspect was big. That's why I enjoy Unity so much, because it was that Assassin's Creed style. But yeah.
But to get back on topic of Star Wars games.
Yes, I was about to say that.
After that,
but we definitely dived into what you guys can expect from probably what you're most likely going to expect from this open world Ubisoft Star Wars game. I have not played Division 1 and 2, which is the games that were made by Massive Entertainment.
I would be very concerned if they take a Division template.
That's
and put
what
it on top of
that's
Star
what
Wars.
people have said. People are saying they need. I haven't played those yet, so I'm not a.
I've played Division 1 a fair bit amount, a fair bit. The second one, it's good, but Division's not my style of games, you know, and I hope they go a different route and maybe do, a bigger story. If they just paste Star Wars on a Division, I'm out.
I hope they don't do that too, from what I've
And
heard.
honestly, Ubisoft is doing a lot of things that have surprised me in the last 3 to 4 years. Mario Rabbids. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but it was, and they capitalized on it.
Oh, yeah, it was
and
great.
I'm hoping they
Good
did
game.
something like that with an IP that's not theirs. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to do something out of the box like that again. I don't think it's going to be a Division copy pasta. I don't, as much as I would like an Assassin's Creed Star Wars game, like honestly, I know Wyatt would never stop playing that game. I don't think that's the way they're going to go.
500 hours into that game.
I would love to see a like Star Wars bounty hunter, like you're running around,
Do we want to get
in the Clone Wars. Like
do
in
we
Clone
want to get
Wars-
into what we think it could be?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. I want to hit you guys with what we know so far. Zilch. We know nothing.
We know it exists.
From what I read from
That's
The Verge on the website there where they broke the news, there's no details as of yet. No idea on what platforms, and no idea in what Star Wars era. I think there is a clue hidden in what Lucasfilm Games said about it.
Do you have that quote?
I do.
Let's hear it.
It's just a small little quote that they took out of the quote, but basically they said Lucasfilm is super excited to usher Lucasfilm Games into a new era of Lucasfilm. I think it's going to be High Republic because I think the Mandalorian and the stuff that Filoni and Favreau are doing right now with Star Wars took a lot of the air out of the release of the High Republic stuff. And I think the High Republic
did.
sales took a hit because people weren't full force focused on it. I think there's a possibility that this game could be High Republic setting to get people on board because of how large the gaming community has grown. If you get people involved into this game and you sell books and stuff along with it, like package deals and stuff at like Targets and stuff like that, you're going to get people to read your book. It's a marketing ploy. It
is, and I think
that's a rumor I think it could be. I read that and I went, High Republic setting? And I have seen a video that a guy said, here's what it could be with High Republic setting. And I'll watch it later because I can't remember what he said, but pretty much everyone says the same thing. They think Assassin's Creed style, you can update your armor, you start as a child, you can choose to be a smuggler, a bounty hunter, you can be a soldier, you can do all kinds of different things if you wanted. And I'm like, it'd be fun. You can update your armor, you can go to a tailor, you can go to a shop, you can pick up contracts as a bounty hunter and hunt people down. I have my own theory. I have 3 theories on what I think it could be. We can get into those in a minute, but that's
Right.
the clue. That's the quote that I heard.
And I think you're correct in that a High Republic game is going to be coming,
Yes.
just to capitalize on everything there. I don't think that's Ubisoft. I don't think they're gonna trust their brand new Star Wars era with a third-party developer that they just.
It will be
started.
it will be
Because
a them
been
game
EA, it's been an EA developed. EA has developed everything Star Wars for.
plus Respawn. Respawn did Jedi Fallen Order.
Respawn is owned by EA.
Oh, that's
So
right.
EA.
That's right.
EA
You're right.
has developed like every Star Wars IP because they have exclusivity. And I don't think they're gonna trust Ubisoft with that yet.
Yeah, I think EA
I
and
think-
Respawn will do a High Republic game. I think it will be them that do it. But that's
I
what I
agree.
thought it could be.
And I think that game is in the pipeline. I think you're absolutely on the ball with that as far as it coming out. I just don't know if that's Ubisoft's. Where I think they're gonna go with it. Ubisoft with IPs that are not theirs, they've kind of held on to the very same principles, the same type of game, and it's been a turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
South Park. The Stick of Truth is a turn-based RPG. The Fractured But Whole. It is still turn-based, but they made it into a 3D grid, which I thought was super cool. Very, very cool.
Such a
Mario and Rabbids. A turn-based XCOM
Yep.
type of game.
Yep.
I think they're going to kind of stick with that, and that's the reason I believe we're getting maybe not Knights of the Old Republic, but a game in that vein, in that same type of gameplay.
So you think Old Republic?
Not necessarily that era,
Okay.
but I think
Same
when
style.
you play Knights of the Old Republic, I think it's that kind of gameplay.
Gotcha.
I think it's going to be set. Honestly, I think it's going to be set after Episode 6. I think it's going to kind of explore the new era, the fall of the Empire.
So you think they
That's something that has
continue?
not.
You think they continue with Filoniverse?
It's something that hasn't been touched on a lot. And I mean, we have
It will be a
Ahsoka
lot
in the
of-
pipeline. We have Boba Fett in the pipeline.
Uh-huh.
I mean, every show
Yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah.
Like they're filling that in, and I think they're gonna take a game and really capitalize on all of the hype around the Mandalorian and really tie those together. Because as those come out, I think we're gonna get those same characters in that game.
That would be cool. Blake, you have any
Blake,
theories?
What are you
I'm
thinking?
curious.
Well,
Because you
What
and I haven't
happened-
talked about this.
what happened when Lucas Games or LucasArts Games went down? What were they developing?
1313, and that's where my head was at as well.
Exactly.
Same exact thought. That's my first
Why?
theory.
Why wouldn't they want to complete that? Because we have demos, we have
Gameplay,
gameplay of that.
trailers.
Why wouldn't they have this professional team of game developers?
Who have already done it?
Exactly.
Because there was a loss of
Jump
money.
on.
Exactly.
But now they
Because they
have.
lost funding, and now that they have the funding,
But
I
it was
think
also
you're on
Disney
the ball.
buying it and Disney not knowing what people not wanting to continue something that they didn't have control of,
Mhm.
and it
With-
being rated M.
With knowing 1313, existed and the hype that surrounded it, and the sadness and the crying of everybody when it was canceled.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they want to jump back on that hype? Because
Oh.
I personally, if I heard, I don't know, next year if there's an or this year if there's an E3,
Mhm.
if I heard
Which
1313 announced, I'm gonna just.
Hey,
Collector's edition pre-order on the
which-
spot.
just so you guys are
Exactly.
aware,
Console
we will
game,
immediately.
it's mine.
just so
It's
you guys
mine.
are aware, we
And-
will
and-
cover E3 and we will have one of our other buddies, Ian, join us for that because he is a big
Absolutely.
gaming freak. So we will be covering that if they do it.
Back onto it though, and we all know how Ubisoft rolls. They have different, editions of each game.
Yep.
If I heard 1313 is coming out, I'm gonna be buying that Ultimate.
Oh yeah, I will drop
Absolutely.
$90.
I want that
game.
statue. I want all that. That's what I want.
Mhm.
But that's what I personally think would happen.
I agree.
We got these open
That's my
world,
top
these
theory.
guys who, we have different opinions on how Assassin's Creed and other games like that. But can we not agree that they are masters at the open world?
Oh yeah,
They are masters at making the same open world game 12 times.
they are master.
See, I don't agree with that.
Here,
They're a
Brenner,
good
I
game.
think what he's saying is they are masters of creating a stunning, beautiful open world with endless opportunities and endless possibilities of things you can do in said open world.
You're
Exactly.
correct. In a game that I also think they did a very good job with in differentiating it from their other games is Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's Breath of the Wild, but
Yeah.
in Greek mythology, and I haven't played much
Yeah.
of it yet, but
It's
is
great.
It is a good game, and I think
I
that they're
haven't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
okay. I think they're finally kind of realizing we can't make the same game 10 times. We can't take Assassin's Creed and every year pump them out. No matter how good the story is, there's a point where you're playing through the same gameplay, and the story's great. If I just want the story, I'll watch it on YouTube. If I can't play the game and enjoy it,
Mhm.
and enjoy the parts where there's not story, I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
I am big on gameplay, and I'm also big on story. And if it's not the complete package, it's very hard for me to finish a game.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys love Assassin's Creed, and I'm just here to stir the pot a little bit, because they are great games. They really are.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Ubisoft's game. I think they're going to do a great job with it. They put out some good stuff recently, except for Watch Dogs, but that's for another
Let me
time.
add
See,
to this.
yeah.
let me add to this.
I have one more concern when you're done. Go ahead.
This game, I think, is the opening and the opportunity that Ubisoft is looking for to bring back the fans of Assassin's Creed they lost, and to bring back the fans of Watch Dogs they lost, to bring in the open world Assassin's Creed type capabilities and the open world hacking high-tech abilities of Watch Dogs. I think it's going to be mixed together. I think it will be 1313. That's my top theory. That's what I believe most it's going to be, because I can tell you right now, they drop that at E3 or they drop that at Star Wars Celebration, they're going to have to wipe up the floors in that hall after, because it's going to be nuts. But on top of that, what I think it possibly could be, my other theory that I'm not as high on, I think they're going to save that for, I think they're going to save this for film or TV, officially canonizing the Old Republic. I think it could be a possibility of them officially canonizing the Old Republic. I have no idea what they would do. Maybe, here's the deal. An open world game where you follow the life of Darth Revan, because his life was nuts. There was so much that went on in his life. There was so much that he did.
Oh, it's quick pause. We didn't hear your voice. What'd you say? The life of who?
Darth Revan.
Okay, I figured, but I just wanted to.
The life of Darth Revan. I think an open world game following that would be super cool. Overall, though, my second, it's 1313 for me. High Republic second. Third is Old Republic, officially canonizing the Old Republic, because it's still not canonized.
I think the Old Republic is definitely something that's going to happen. I do not think that's Ubisoft either.
I don't either. It's my third for a reason, but I think it's a possibility.
If they do Knights of the Old Republic and they don't do that turn-based, the Knights of the Old Republic gameplay, I think they need to start with that. At the very least, remaster the first one. Mm-hmm. At the very least, or reimagine it, a rumor, in the vein of Final Fantasy VII. If they remaster it like that or remake it, I would buy it, play it in a heartbeat, because I still need to play through Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
But if you guys have played an Ubisoft game, you know, like Blake said, they offer many different editions.
Yep.
Which, in my opinion, is a blatant money grab half the time.
It is.
Yeah. I'm a victim.
I'm a victim as well.
See, but sometimes they're worth it. Like Valhalla does come with a season pass, but it's just a bunch of cosmetic stuff. Mm-hmm. And all they do in most of their games, it's microtransactions everywhere. Like, I really hope that they don't do what EA does and just loads their games with microtransactions.
I don't think they will, because I definitely think when EA, because we'll talk about this in a second, but I think they're going to do what EA is probably going to do. I think every qualm that everyone had with the old EA games is gone. I think moving forward, they're not going to do that stuff anymore. Microtransactions will be gone. Pay to win aspect of games will be gone. They're fixing that, I think.
They fixed Battlefront 2. I mean, that game's phenomenal. I love that game.
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Beautiful game.
Guess what? No microtransactions, and that game is phenomenal. The story in that game is abysmal. Mm-hmm. You can literally not play the game and nothing changes. You don't have to complete the story and nothing changes.
You and I have discussed this. That's my biggest qualm about that game is the ending.
We're not talking about this right now, but the gameplay. And Blake, as much as a good story will bring me into a game, the gameplay is what is going to make me stay and make me play that beyond the end credit scene.
Listen, I finished Fallen Order. I finished it for the gameplay.
Yep.
Exactly. I enjoyed the story. I loved the story until the very end, and I was like, wow, that was so anticlimactic.
I will say this right now. For those of you that have not finished the game, we will not tell you what the ending is. But the ending of that game, you play the entire game, you put what, 40, 50 hours into it?
Like 25, 30, maybe. Depending on how long the first
code takes you. Okay, if you do just the story, but if you do everything else, it's... But...
It also depends on what difficulty you play on. Jedi Greymaster, it was not a good time.
I played it on highest. It took forever. But I can tell you guys right now, that game, you spend the whole time going after this entire, you have this one mission, the whole game. Everything else you do is side mission, kind of like The Mandalorian, to get you to this one goal. And then at the end, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter.
And that's where we're going to leave it. That's where we're going to leave it.
It doesn't matter. I don't play the game. If you want to see the irritation, play the game. Love the game. It's a beautiful game. It's probably in my top 3 Star Wars games because it is a great game. It's beautiful. The gameplay, the action, which I'm hoping if they do a Battlefront 3, the action and the fighting, the lightsaber combat is done by Respawn.
See,
that's what I'm
implementing
hoping.
that from a single player PvE game into a Battlefront type PvP, and making that lightsaber combat is very difficult.
But now they have the money to do it because Lucasfilm
it's not necessarily
but they have the money to do
as much as the gameplay.
But they'll have the money and they have the
PvP.
people to do it because now that Lucasfilm is legitimately connected to it, they can help fund whatever they need to make that a possibility. Go ahead, Blake.
Well, what I think Brenner's trying to say is you have a game that's purely focused on single player, and the lightsaber combat is focused on timing events based on the AI decisions.
Yeah.
Putting that into a multiplayer game really isn't as possible as we want it to be.
Yep.
Now, the fluidity of the players fighting is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like something like that is doable, but blocking and everything like that is unrealistic because you're gonna have a Jedi player, a Jedi hero, standing in the middle of the field, blocking and deflecting every single shot and just winning every game. So
I mean, as a Jedi should, to be fair.
Exactly.
Absolutely, but that
rather than be busted a little bit, just a little bit.
But and that's where you take in the EA aspects of Battlefront, where you add a stamina bar and stuff like that. Like, yes, in terms, Jedi won't feel that. Like, in terms, a Jedi should be able to cut through a team of stormtroopers and be able to block every lightsaber blast that comes at every blaster blast that comes at him, and never.
Hold on, lightsabers can shoot now. Hold on.
Hey, Ezra Bridger's can.
Yeah, you're right.
Ezra Bridger's first one can. A most underrated lightsaber out there as well. That thing was super sweet. I love that.
It really was.
I loved that thing. It looked stupid, but it was cool. I still think it's one of the most underrated. But that being said, I think something we can look forward to is, I think overall we can look forward to what they're doing. Like the Ubisoft thing is shrouded in mystery, and Star Wars fans are going to do what Star Wars fans do, and they are going to theorize and put out rumors every day, every week. There's going to be something new about what this game could be, and I think there's so many different possibilities. And then we can also all be excited for the possibility that there will be a Battlefront 3. There is going to be a Jedi Fallen Order 2. There's going to be the Star Wars gaming community is a happy one right now because we're starting to get more and we're going to get so many. They're going to crank out games every other year. I don't think they'll do every year, but there will be games every year.
I disagree with you.
You think they'll do one every year?
I think they're going to be different genres. I think they're going to be different games. Like, we're not going to get a Battlefront 3 and then 4 the next year.
No.
We may get Battlefront and then Fallen Order 2. Or
I think that's going to be the other way around, but yeah, I agree with you.
Well,
also,
yes.
Take into account all the indie developers now able to get themselves the license to do a Star Wars game. I love indie games. I love supporting that little company, or that person, the single person who's trying to do these games. Imagine what awesome games or, hell, anything we can get from these indie developers. Like, just think about all the indie games that started out tiny and are now massive and amazing.
Stardew Valley.
Like Stardew
Hollow
Valley. That's a great example. Hollow Knight, fantastic game series. What are we gonna get with Star Wars? What if somebody attempted to bring us back the magic of Star Wars on the Nintendo? What if we got that again?
Star Wars?
Absolutely, man. I'd buy that if an indie developer took that on and tried to bring that onto consoles or PC. I'd play it. Play it immediately. I'd cry because that game is for masochists, but it's still a great game. But
all right.
But also, I just think this whole decision Disney made in getting rid of the exclusivity was a great decision. We have such an opportunity to play all these games that could come out, you know, from any of these people in any of these developers.
Yeah.
Just give someone a chance to show that Star Wars can still have the same gaming magic as it did years ago.
Years ago, yep, when they were cranking out
Absolutely.
around the time of Battlefront 2 and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Original
exactly.
BF2.
Like, could you imagine if we got a BF3, you know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was supposed to be?
like it's supposed
That's-
to be done. Yeah.
Oh,
I really wish that they had. Yeah, Galactic Conquest. I was so disappointed when that wasn't in there.
Yep.
But
that's
I think,
still one I prayed coming again. I loved that. You know, I would play that as a standalone game.
Yes.
Oh, me too.
I would.
If they would fund just Galactic Conquest, I would absolutely play it.
Yeah.
But I think, with that being said, I think we've kind of touched on all of our ideas. We have
Perfect timing too.
a lot of good
The perfect
discussion
timing,
there.
Yeah.
Loved it. I love stirring the pot right at the beginning too. It's always fun.
That was really good. That was really good. That's gonna draw people in. That's gonna go. Ooh, these guys have different theories. These guys don't believe the same
But-
thing.
It was a great time today, guys.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I think this is where we are going to end off our very first podcast.
Mhm.
If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button, sub, and please hit that bell.
Yes. That way
Every
you guys
week
are
we're
notified
having-
every time a video goes live. We would love to see you guys here every week.
Every time.
Mhm.
But with that being said, we are going to dip out of this one. Thank you for stopping by. It was a pleasure.
It was. See ya.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.